You haven't subscribed to the channel yet? Subscribe now. We have new stories every day. Now, let's go. I have been coming home late for the past 6 months. After pulling into the garage one evening, I noticed 3 extra cars parked out front. I knew exactly whose they were, my longtime friends Mark, Steve, and Tom. I wondered why they were here, considering my wife knew I'd be working late that night. Still, I figured I'd find out soon enough. I could hear them murmuring in the living room, so I stopped by the fridge for a beer. I assumed my wife, Lauren, had already offered them something to drink. Bracing myself, I walked into the room. Mark and Tom were on the couch, with Lauren seated between them. Steve was in a chair nearby. I settled into the recliner across from them, nodded, and said, "Hey, what's up?" They exchanged glances, and finally Lauren looked like she was mustering the courage to break some bad news. When she spoke, it all tumbled out at once. "I'm sorry about this, Joe," she began, "but we need to talk about something important. It's been killing me keeping this a secret from you. And, well, the guys are a bit dissatisfied with how little time I can give them. I do love you, truly, and I still want us to have a family someday, to grow old together, retire, and travel, spoil our future grandchildren, but there's something else. For the past year, I've been sleeping with Mark, Steve, and Tom. Sometimes it's one of them, but usually 2 or even all 3 at once." She paused to see how I'd react. I just sipped my beer and stayed quiet, so she continued. "A lot of times, one of them would take you out somewhere to distract you while the other 2 came over. Whoever was with you would call or text when you were on your way home, giving us time to clean up before you arrived. But honestly, we couldn't manage it as often as we wanted, didn't want to raise suspicions. And it turns out I really like having all 3 of them at once. 2 is good, but 3 is incredible." I figured it was time to speak up. "Well, Lauren, I can't say I'm thrilled to learn you've been cheating on me with my 3 best friends. Also can't say I'm happy they would betray me like this. Is this your way of saying you want a divorce?" "Oh no," she replied quickly. "I do not want a divorce. I want to have a family with you, Joe. I want us to stay married and grow old together. But I need you to accept that this is how it's going to be. We'll still be intimate, still be a married couple. I'll go off the pill soon and we can start planning for a baby. Other than the guys coming over once or twice a week, everything will be the same. Maybe you could even join us sometimes." I turned my gaze toward Mark, Steve, and Tom, my so-called friends. "What do your wives think about this?" I asked. Mark, who's a lawyer, answered. "They don't know, and they never will. If you breathe a word, I'll ruin you." I did my best not to smirk. "Don't worry, they won't hear about it from me." "Good," Mark went on, shooting Lauren a look. She nodded for him to continue. "So here's the plan going forward. Lauren's discovered she loves being with multiple men. You alone just don't do it for her anymore. A couple times a week, the 3 of us will come over and be with Lauren until we're satisfied. We'll clean up afterwards so our wives don't suspect anything. Once we're done, we'll leave and you 2 can go on playing happy couple. We don't care if you stick around or go out, although if you do stay, we might let you participate sometimes. And as far as you being with your wife, you can do that on the nights we're not here. Heck, you can even sleep with her after we're gone if she's up for it." "Seems like I have no other options," I said with a shrug. "I guess I have a couple of small requests. Seems like the least you can do, considering you're taking my wife." Mark grinned, apparently feeling generous in his victory. "Sure, Joe, as long as they're not too demanding." "No, nothing major," I assured him. "Just 2 things. First, don't use my bed. The guest room is plenty big. I have to sleep in that bed, and you're already disrespecting me enough as it is." He nodded. "Fair enough. We usually do it on the living room floor anyway, but we can use the guest room if needed. Your bedroom and bathroom are off limits." "Thanks. Second, let you know in advance when you'll be here and when you'll be leaving. I don't plan on hanging around. I need time to clear out before you arrive, so I'm not in the way." "We can handle that," Mark said. "Anything else?" "That's it." I sighed and Mark's smirk returned. "Great. Since we're all here, we don't want to waste the chance. We'll give you a half hour to pack a bag and head out," he added. "You might want to get a motel. Our wives think we're on an overnight fishing trip with Tom's boat, so they're not expecting us back till morning." I shrugged and stood. "All right. Let me grab some clothes and make a quick phone call, then I'm gone." While I was in the bedroom packing, I could hear them talking in low voices. That went better than I expected. Mark chuckled. "Yeah," Steve chimed in. I thought he'd explode. They laughed, trading insults about my manhood. I re-entered the living room with my duffel bag, phone in hand, speaking into it. "Yeah, Mary. They said they'll be here all night. Mark suggested a motel, but maybe your place. Oh, a Palace Hotel is good, and the presidential suite sounds perfect. Could you call Joan and Ella, have them meet us there?" "Right. I'm good to go. I only got off once earlier, so I've got a few more rounds left in me. Lauren said she's going off the pill. Yeah, that's what I told you. That's downright evil. I love it. Think Joan and Ella would go for that too? You all agreed to it already? Fantastic." All right, see you soon. I ended the call and turned to find four stunned faces. Lauren was the first to speak. Joe, who are you talking to? What was that about? That was Mark's wife, Mary, I replied nonchalantly. She's booking the presidential suite at the palace. We're meeting Tom's wife, Joan, and Steve's wife, Ella. We're going to screw our brains out, as you like to say, all night long since their husbands are supposedly fishing till morning. What? Mark roared, furious. I warned you not to breathe a word. And I told you they wouldn't hear it from me, I said. You see, 6 months ago, Mary, Ella, and Joan came to my office. They told me the three of you had been sleeping with my wife for half a year already. They offered me their own companionship whenever you guys got together with Lauren. So for the last 6 months, while you've been with my wife, I've been with your wives. Did you ever wonder why I'd come home so late and why I was so exhausted? The three men blanched. Lauren looked horrified. I continued calmly. Believe me, Lauren, I get the appeal of multiple partners. Your friends here had no clue their wives are pretty open-minded too. Turns out Mary, Ella, and Joan all discovered a mutual interest. And since they knew what you were doing, they figured I should know what kind of woman I married. They decided to include me in their fun. Actually, we have plenty of photos and videos saved for the private investigator's report, so I wouldn't bother trying to divorce me or punish your wives. In court, you three would be toast. As for you, Lauren, you can divorce me if you want, but that won't go like you think. I move in with your ex-friend's ex-wives, and you wouldn't get much out of me at all. I let that sink in before adding one last thing. Let's agree not to do any DNA testing on future kids. Some of you may not like the results. Anyway, I gotta go. I got 3 ladies waiting. Enjoy your evening. I grabbed my bag and left. As I drove to the palace, I couldn't help but wonder if tonight's revelations would bring about any changes. But since Mark was wealthy and Mary already had the best divorce lawyer in the state on speed dial, I figured everything would work out just fine. What's your opinion about Opie? Thanks for joining us in our stories where revenge is served hot. Please consider subscribing to our channel to ensure your next chef remains loyal. Tune in for the next one to get your revenge appetite fulfilled. If you're below 18, hold on. It's not for the faint-hearted.